Yep, the old Audi A6, the RS grill I put in 2 years ago has took on some damage in the past couple months. One part was done on the road coming back from West Coast back to East Coast, and just yesterday I noticed at lunch the other side's got busted out, and I actually knocked the sensor out and looked like it damaged the intercooler, the heat exchanger in there, which is a good thing because I already had bought another grill to replace it, and I'm also upgrading my my heat exchanger as I'm taking the whole front end back off the car again. So, but yeah, I don't know what the world's going on with my luck with this grill. But luckily I was already replacing it. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do a little details on, removing the whole front end and installing the upgraded heat exchanger. And if you guys know what a heat exchanger is, that's that. See the damage done to that? That is the heat exchanger, and what that does is take the takes the water that's circulating through your supercharger, cools it, and then circulates it back in. It has a valve and another pump system where also it uses the same water that goes through your engine and all this and that, but it's kind of complicated to explain. But you upgrade that part, and that way it kind of keeps the supercharger cooler. I have noticed during last summer when it was around 100 degrees, it was getting kind of sluggish. I guess heat soaked is what they call it. So anyway, that's the reason you upgrade that, get a little more cooling out of it. So it won't be so sluggish. This is a integrated engineering stage 2 single pulley, which the only thing I changed is supercharger pulley. A little smaller, spins the supercharger a little faster. So anyway, I'll get to that in the morning, so I'll catch you guys later. All right, so managed to get the whole front clip bumper off. I don't know why they call it a bumper. It's not a bumper, it's just a piece of plastic. Not much of a bumper. To me, that's a bumper. Anyway, managed to get it off. A few screws up on the side there you had to get to. It went into here. Let's see if I can find them here. All right, I know you got one. Let's see. Yeah, one here. And you got the little trim piece to go there. And you got a bolt that goes here. Then there's bolts that go up on the bottom here that somehow or another attached to that, but I don't know why, but this side come off for some reason. I don't know why. The other side didn't come off. It stayed on the car, but I was having a problem. Well, it must be maybe it snaps in there or something. Anyway, I'll do some inspections on that before I put it all back together and see what's going on there. But man, it's hard to believe how much sand and dirt and that's gonna get crammed all up on the front end. I know a lot of it came from going over the states that had snow, and they put a lot of sand and dirt and mess all over the highway. I was hoping to find whatever that was that busted that out to still be laying in here somewhere, but I don't see it. So anyway, my next attack is I got to take this crash bar off. I got to unplug these little things here, because that's what the heat exchanger is going to mount to. I got to remove this old heat exchanger, get it out of the way. Plus I got to repaint this. You see how much is chipped up pretty bad. Yeah. We'll put a couple extra layers this time on it. So anyway, here we go. All right, so what I got to do now, oh yeah, and I took this shroud off that was covering this. Man, I had a dead bird and all sorts of mess that was in there. That's the shroud over there. So I'll get the shop vac and clean all that out on that part. But here, what I got to do, I got to disconnect this water line and pinch it off. Then there's a bolt right behind, there we go, right there where my finger's at. I got to take out. Then on this side, that hose right there, got to disconnect and pinch off. And I'm not sure what holds this side on, so this is going to be it's going to be interesting to try to figure out how to get that out. All right, so got the stock intercooler out. Yeah, got her. I got her. She didn't want to come out, but I got her out. So I put her over here out of the way somewhere. She still got a little bit of juice in her. With the cool juice. Yeah, I got these little plastic little hose clamp deals from AutoZone. My son used them, and then he told me that one thing he can use is the big one, then you had to use a pair of like me little vice grips on the other side, because the other sizes that the kit comes with are too small. So anyway, we got that. Like I said, I took the little screw out to get the thing out and all that. And now these pieces right here don't have anything attached to, because of the they were kind of snapped into the factory intercooler. So I'm going to try to like maybe super glue, epoxy them or something, so they won't be wiggling all around and dangling, so I can get all the cooling I can to the new intercooler. Now what I'm going to do is go get the new intercooler. It comes with brackets on the side. I'm going to slide it down in there so I can mark my spots. Slide down there so I can mark my spots on this crash rail here, to where it's got the mount to. And then I'm going to take this crash bar off and go repaint it and all that and wait for it to dry. So I'll be back in a few. Alright, here's the new heat exchanger. I may have been calling it an intercooler off and on through the video, I'm not sure, because it kind of reminds you of an intercooler. It kind of is an intercooler, but it's an Audi cooler, I guess you could say, because the intercooler on these is actually inside of the supercharger. So this kit is a CTX, Lord have mercy. CTS intercooler heat exchanger. Dang, I keep right on doing it. It comes with all the fittings and this and that, and little pieces of hoses and the brackets, but and some screws and hose clamps. It does not come with instructions, so you have to get online, and I have to go get my laptop now, pull up the instructions just to make sure. I know I kind of helped my son out just a little bit on his, the last little part. He already had most of it done when I got here. The only thing I helped him do was hook up this part, which that's what this long hose was for. You kind of run it down, and then you got a hose coupling deal here that hooks into that stock one there. It kind of runs down and then ties into that. The other side, I'm not sure why, at this moment, I'm not sure why it comes with two different sizes. Yeah, I'm not sure on that part yet. So, but anyway, here's the brackets that mount on the sides. Let me get this one. Yeah, mounts on the sides. It's got two little threaded threadlets there, and it goes on like this. That lip right there sits right onto the crash bar, like so. So what I'm gonna do right now is go ahead and mount these on to the heat exchanger, and then I can find my placement to where I want it to be, to where it won't be hitting anything over there and look okay. And then mark my spots and then take this crash bar off and go paint it. All right, so I see one little thing I have to do here. As you see, the bracket sits on top of the crash bar, there and there. But as you see, it's not flush. So what I'm going to have to do is take them brackets off, put them in the vise, and bend them so they will be a little flush, so they won't be kind of poking out like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's definitely a lot bigger than that little stock one sitting over there. A lot bigger. Alright, so got the crash bar off. I did get the tabs been out in the vise and got my marks. The other side. Yep, got my marks right there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and mount those on here. Go ahead and they come with the little self-tapping screws. That way when I paint, I will cover up my marks. And this time I'm gonna set it outside and I'm gonna put a few layers of paint on it this time. Hopefully it won't chip as bad, but I'm not gonna be going in them rough states in a while. So with a bunch of pebbles and rocks kicking up. And then I'm gonna take the shop back and I'm gonna clean all this trash out that's in here and try to get some of this stuff out of that and out of that. All right. Alright, so I just put one layer of paint on it so far. I'm going to wrap it up this time, better than next time. Maybe to keep it from chipping so bad. As you can see, I got the brackets mounted. I did test fit, everything fits good. And what I'm using this time is VHT high temp roll bar and chassis. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, so put about 3 coats of paint on that. Probably should have put more, but anyway, it's kind of chilly outside, so I brought it in maybe to help it dry a little bit quicker. Then I'm going to end up mounting the heat exchanger onto that, and then taking that whole unit and placing it back in there. Kind of figured out what hose is supposed to be used now. There we go. All right. So this little short one here is going to go on this right side, because there's a place at the bottom of this new heat exchanger, and that hose you see clamped off over there will go right into that. So that's what that's for. This one, which I don't think my son realized it, I just realized it now. At the top of the new heat exchanger, there's a little turn down that comes down some. So this will plug up into that, and then this end here will plug up into the hose you see clamping off there. This one, after I finally found some instructions online, this long one here is some of the new S models, newer S models. Both of the hoses on the right side. So that long hose is if you were coming off of the top of the heat exchanger and going down back behind it and hooking back up to that hose on this side. But mine is an A6, it's 2012. So there's hose on this side and hose on that side. So anyway, got that figured out. It shouldn't be too much longer. I'll probably give it about another 30 minutes and then I will start mounting the heat exchanger on the crash bar and start putting the crash bar inside. And then I'm going to tackle this grill. And the thing about this grill is a little complicated. I remember when I was putting it in. All of these little tabs here have to be unhooked all the way around. And from what I've seen online and from what I remember, when you unhook a tab, you got to slide a tie wrap in it. Unhook a tab, slide a tie wrap in it, so it won't hook back. And then by the time you get almost all the way around, the grill will come out. I do have the new grill right over here on top of the Can-Am. There's the new grill, all fresh. Yep, and it's got the clips that will hold in the parking sensors and all that. Yeah, that's all them little clips I was talking about all the way around it. I did notice that on the parking sensor they got busted out, the little clip that's actually on the sensor broke off as well. So what I'm gonna have to do is get it in there, and I'm gonna have to dab a little super glue on it, let it sit for a little bit and let it ride that way. So Anyway, we're making progress. Alright, so crash bar was still a little wet, and so I moved it. I put just one more coat on it, and I'm gonna let it sit a while, and we'll go ahead and jump on this grill. Go ahead and tackle this. Alright, so what I got here is a couple torque screws. Well, not a couple, but a few. One there, probably supposed to have been a couple there, but I may have lost them when I put the other one in. There, and it's like 4 across the top, and then got one here. Once I take all the torque screws out, like I was saying earlier, I got all these little tabs all the way around that I've got to kind of pop loose with a little flathead and slide in a little black tie wrap. I got plenty of tie wrap, so then by the time I get all the way around, the grill should pop out. Then I'll be able to snap the new one in, put the torque screws in, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. And if you guys are wondering why it sounds like I'm totally out of breath, it's because I probably am. I'm still getting over COVID, so every little bit I do, it's like taking energy away from me like crazy. And I don't think my lungs is getting enough air. So if I feel like I'm out of breath, it's because I'm still getting over COVID. So anyway, I'm ready to jump on this, and hopefully the crash bar will be dry when I get done. Alright, so I got the old grill out, and get ready to put the new one in. Putting it in is a lot easier. All you do is line it up, snap them in, and put your little torque screws back in it. So get ready to jump on that. Alright, so we got the new grill in. Looking good. Yeah, she's in. The crash bar still is not completely dry, still a little tacky, so looks like it's gonna be a little bit. So trying to think of what else I could do in the meantime, but it doesn't really look like I could do anything else. I've already kind of vacuumed out that tray the best I could and cleaned all that out and all that. So I guess right now it's just a matter of waiting. So I guess I'll wait. Alright, so I got it mounted back to the crash bar. Got them bolts tightened up on this part itself. I just kind of stuck these in for right now. It's just a little loose. But yes, whew, she's definitely a lot bigger, and me kind of hiding the horsepower now. I'm behind that honeycomb grill with all that thing shining there. But that was stock. Anybody needs one, they can have it, but it's slightly damaged, and it don't look like it would be much longer before the little things right there turn loose. I'm surprised it hasn't been leaking the way it was. Because yeah. So anyway, but there she is, a mountain, and then like I said, I'm going to hook up the hoses. This here hooks up to there, and then that hooks up to here. Probably what I'm going to do is I might take a razor blade and try to notch that so I could get that on, and I'm hoping that that doesn't get in the way of that shroud that's got to go here. I'm gonna have to check that out in a minute. Yep. And then yeah, there we go. And this hose goes here. Well, anyway, pretty much goes down like this. That hooks up to there. Then that hose, let me get it right here. There we go. There, that hose I got pinched off. Plug into that hose. That goes there. So, anyway, let me get this finished mounted. Then I'll start hooking up the hoses and all that good stuff. Alright, so now what I'm doing, as you see, I actually use that long hose that come in the pack to loop around to put my funnel way up high. Because what I got to do, also I pulled this plug out here Because what I got to do is got to try to fill this up a little bit. I've already kind of get the hose there. I got to tighten that clamp up, and then I'm going to connect this hose to here, and then I'm going to start to fill that up with liquid, and hopefully the air bubbles will escape this way and not be trapped down in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is start to fill this up first, and once I notice it starts to flow through, I'm going to take this hose and connect to there, but I'm not going to plug this yet. And as it's running out, connect it and then fill this up until I know it's about full, and all the air should release out of there. Then I can put this hose on and connect it to the bottom. It still will be a little bit of liquid trapped in there, but maybe not much. I meant air, sorry, air pocket. So I'm gonna try to somehow or another bleed this system to get it out. There's certain ways to do it, so I guess I'm gonna try that. I tried not to get any in there, any air trapped in there, but anyway, it is what it is. And so here we go. Alright, so I got all the hoses plugged up. I got it full with fluid once I could. Right now I'm making sure there's no air bubbles and all that good stuff in the system. Looks like I'm probably going to be okay. I did the best I could without trying to get air bubbles in there. So looks like I'll probably be alright. But anyway, I got all the hoses tightened up. I'm going to double check everything before I start to slide the front on. Still got to figure out, get that back on there. Hopefully nothing gets involved there or it hits and all that. But anyway, got the big old heat exchanger on there to keep her a little cooler during the summertime. So alright, now what I'm going to do is start to get that kind of placed up there close. I might try to somehow or another maybe set it on this and get it close so I can plug in all the cables and get them routed to all the parking sensors and all that stuff. I do know, like I said the last time, I had an issue with this left, well, car left, but my right, this part right here not wanting to cooperate, so I have to do a little finesse for that. And if I, you know, start to get on my nerves a little bit, I'll just wait and start back on in the morning, because I don't want to break anything or mess anything up. But anyway, got that, and the new grill we'll go back on, and might even give her a bath tomorrow. She's been needing a good hand wash bath for a while now. So I'm gonna let this run a little bit, let the thermostat open, circulate, keep a check on my level, maybe pop the top on that, make sure there ain't nothing gonna burp out, and it should be good. All right, so oh, me being a fool. Anyway, I tried to take the saws off, and you remember this thing that was in the way. I said, oh, I'm just gonna probably sawzall it around it, and anyway, my dumb ass went and cut the damn hose. So I went, lucky enough, had some extra hose, and replaced it. And then I also took the hose that was in there, sliced it, and wrapped it around it double, so that way it protects from this right here. That's going to be kind of vibrating and sitting there. So it's another layer of hose on top of that hose, and I just put orange tape on it just to hold it in place. You won't be able to see it anyway once everything goes back together. So anyway, yes, I had to pinch the hoses off, re-drain the system, this and that. I have not started it back up yet to check to see if anything's going to burp and gurp and all that. I've been trying to clean up the mess I spilled on the floor again, because this stuff here is sweet tasting. Trust me, I got a little bit in my mouth, and I don't want to let my dogs in here get around it and they start licking it up, and you know what antifreeze does to dogs. So anyway, I'm going to try to clean up a little bit, and I may tackle putting this on tonight. If not, it'll be first thing in the morning. Alright, so I've been letting it run for a little bit, checking for leaks. No leaks, everything looks good. I did get this back on, it fit in there good. Nothing in the way or anything like that, nothing funky, so good on that. Track down all the sensors, make sure I had them in the right place, all the wiring. Everything looks like it's in place, ready to go for that. But I believe it's about 6 o'clock here, and I've been kind of out here about a half a day working on it off and on, and I know how it can get aggravating by myself to get this on and get this piece, especially this side, because I've had an issue with this side the last time, and I don't want to be out here with attitude and go get ill and all that. So I'm going to wake up first thing in the morning, fresh brain, fresh mind, fresh attitude, and I'm going to try to, maybe I can use that, or I might have to use something else to help hold that in place while I plug up all the sensors, and then try to slide it on and then bolt it all on by myself. So anyway, I'll catch you guys in the morning.